Hello, my doves. Welcome to my morning contemplation today. Let's kind of settle in, have some tea, because I have some messages for you. And we're going to take a deep breath to kind of settle into this energy because I kind of need it too. I'm having a hard time catching my breath today. So, together, let's just breathe. Okay, welcome. So, I have a very gentle energy today, and I'm feeling lots of white light. And so, I'm also feeling like the veil is really thin. And so, sometimes there's a little less clarity of thought, articulation, and it's simply because it's more of a receptive mode. And so, if you are coming across this video, my intention was to be a messenger from the divine itself with something that you really need to hear right now. And what has really come through is the importance of this part in your life, almost the narrow tunnel that you need to build for yourself, that straight arrow straight ahead. And what I mean by that is that there is a moment in your life right now where you're coming out of perhaps a healing era where you really were coming to terms with the ruins of your old life, and you're now just wakening back up to your vitality. I told you it would happen. You're waking up to your vitality and starting to move in the direction of your dreams. But not just that, because sometimes I think that moving in the direction of your dreams maybe places a little bit too much pressure on ourselves. And I think more it's just moving in direction of contentment, fulfillment, peace, and really receiving all the things that you're always meant to and that you deserve. And so it's really opening up the heart and mind as wide as you possibly can to receive what is rightfully yours. So if you've come across this video, here's a couple message, and I want to break it down into the top 3 things that you need to hear right now. And number 1 is it's time to take action. Any and all action. And I'm going to tell you about the energy to embody behind that action that you're taking in a minute, but just let that sink in. It's movement time. It's now time to start moving forward, taking steps. It's that masculine energy. And then number 2 is escaping the mind and being a clear and cleansed vessel as much as you possibly can. Because when you are moving through a portal like this and building the threads of your new life, it needs your clarity and your peace and your strength to maintain that more than ever. So that's number 2. And number 3 is simply opening your heart to an even greater capacity to receive and belief. And I'll give you a couple of tips on how you can do that. So a couple recaps of what that is 1, it is now time for you to take action and really hone in that masculine energy and be the person you're always meant to be. 2nd is cleansing and escaping the mind, bringing in white light to feel clear and cleansed in order to maintain that sense of lightness. And number 3 is increasing your capacity to receive and know that you deserve support and that you're not alone. So those are the 3 things we're focusing on today and what you need to hear. So let's go ahead and get into that number 1 thing that we're doing, and that's taking action. So this is telling me that you've been preparing for this moment for years. And what I think is hilarious is I'm really seeing this in my own synchronicities in my own life as I'm hearing this repetitive message that the time is now on 2 levels, meaning like the waiting is over. So maybe you've heard this many times and you're like, yeah, that's just trending on YouTube. No, honey, it is trending for you. I think that this collective is a collective that works really hard and has been refining for years. I'm really getting that Saturnine energy of really breaking down all false illusions, the discipline of body, mind, and spirit, in order to hold your future that you deserve. It's like you're finally at the point in your life, like this is the largest rebirth of your life, where you can finally receive and hold with longevity what you've always wanted. That's a big deal. So, really celebrate that work that you've done and really reflect and observe also of all your accomplishments. And I know when you have done this much work and you've done this much refinement, I'm hearing there's been lots of failures, and it's almost like your mind wants to play tricks on you. It's like, what are you doing? Don't you know that rule about insanity, about doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? Well, guess what? Maybe the person who came up with that saying didn't have a message, because for those of us in this collective, we do it because we feel compelled. There is something within us that tells us not to stop, to be the fool on this hero's journey. So you are not stopping. You are embodying the fool, and you're doing it because it compels you, and you know it's your birthright. There's that little voice in your head that tells you, or your heart, that this is what you're meant to do. So toss out any notion about here we go again, and finally forget about the ruins of the life that you've shed and left behind. So don't let the ruins of your past ruin your future. Okay? And what is and that brings me to escaping the mind. And that is something that, if you're listening, I'm feeling is a big thing to kind of listen into. And I love that I drew cards that kind of like told me this sequence, which is basically take back your shine, or maintain your radiance and your shine, escape your mind, raise your vibration, and protect your light. Because of the importance of this threshold that you're walking through, where you're really holding your legacy and you're starting to move towards it and starting to take action yet again, and your mind may be playing tricks on you, like we discussed, like, well, I've been here before. How is this any different? Well, it is different because you're an entirely brand new person that is now finally refined what you needed to refine in order to hold the thing that you've always wanted. So when you've been held back before, it was for you, not against you, because you might have been refining in the public eye, which is not comfortable. You got to refine in privacy. And then also losing it once you get it, or not being able to enjoy your legacy once you receive it. And so that is why you've been held back and suspended and been in this pause. And that's why it's triggering to start moving towards your dreams, your purpose, and the life that you've always dreamed of, or simply just to be content. And so, how do you hold on to your shine in this potentially very disruptive place in your life? And we kind of talked about this on the last video, and it's simply coming into your space, breathing, calling down light, and saying, increase my capacity to receive, and just bring that light in as much as you can, because that light protects it. Remembering your light protects you. And sometimes you may need reminders several times a day, especially because your mind will play tricks on you to think you may need to do something else rather than the things that truly move your life forward. So cleanse that energy on a daily basis, multiple times a day if you need to. It doesn't take a lot of time. And just imagining that light drawing down into your body. You can even imagine yourself glowing. And then escape your mind. Whatever you can do to take your mind off of perhaps external circumstances or the past, do it. This mind is going to be amplified right now because of where you're moving into. You're in a new stage that naturally makes your brain freak out. So, whatever you can do to escape the mind, cleanse the energy, protect your light, and shine bright, give yourself absolute permission to do so. 3, um, increasing your capacity to receive. Um, a good way to do this is to remember that you are not alone. The very fact that you're on this video right now speaking with me and feeling this current tells you that you're not. And you can also already start to feel the energy that you're not alone. Sometimes even connecting with ancestors and light beings and the Holy Mother, whatever egregore, whatever light you like to bring in is enough to increase your capacity to receive. And then also visualize yourself receiving support from strangers or suddenly opportunities following your life. Because the thing is you deserve the reward for the work that you're doing. This collective that's listening has something inside them that they've mastered that you're sharing. You're an artisan, you're a craftsman, you're a healer, a physician, a mystic, and you have a work that you deserve to be supported for. Even just your internal work. Maybe if it's not even something that you put into or channel or you create, it's simply that internal work that you've done to remove all illusions and be a liberated and free person. Just you existing with that liberation is so powerful and so needed in the time that we live in. Remember that golden energy that you've earned because of that and that freedom. You deserve support because other people need to see you, they need to feel you, and know that that is possible. So remember, you deserve to receive abundance support in the physical realm. So if you've come across this video, this is also a reminder that those channels are open. Increase your capacity in your body, in your mind, and your spirit, your heart to receive. And you can do that just simply by making a statement and asking for help into the universe and imagining your body, every cell, every fiber of your being opening and trusting and believing that I'm ready to receive that support. So go ahead and say that in your sacred space. Say it out loud if you need to, and come back to prayer as much as you possibly can. I'm also hearing that simply asking for support on a daily basis from the Most High, however you translate that, for me it's the Holy Mother, giving her permission to intercede and assist you in all ways in accordance with your highest good in the name of unconditional love. Say that every day, several times a day if you need to, and there's just something about bringing that light into your body and allowing and trusting that it also helps things. Okay, so I do kind of want to come back to taking action and why it's so disruptive. And that is because the past has been very difficult for you. And that is because you are somebody who doesn't exactly not try. And maybe you finally listened to your heart to be still, to allow and to receive. And you've done that, and you're tired, and you've been through a lot. And all of that history sometimes wants to come with us or even trigger our brains as we're moving into our new life. This is what could happen because do you remember when this happened? And sometimes our nervous system will even hang on to things that we aren't consciously aware of, but we are getting disturbed in some way. And so you might have to transmute and alchemize a lot right now as you're taking action. But before I hang up this phone, before I stop recording this video, your mission is to think about how do you want to live every day? How do you want to make your money? What is something that you want to call into your life? It can just be one thing, it can be multiple things, it can be a list of things, it can be a declaration. But think about that. What do you want? What do you need? And what can you do to take action on that right now in order to bring it in? Well, I can give you some tips. Meditation, bringing down light, asking for support, asking for energetic upgrades, raising your vibration, and then cleansing and clearing anything that would dim your light. That's people. That's anything in your environment. Does something need to be cleaned? Keep a clean environment, keep clean friends, because it is so important this moment in your life that you need no distractions. You just want to be clean and clear so that you can take actions. And that also means taking care of your body and your emotions. And so, whatever you can do to feel healthy, so you don't sabotage in that way. And again, this is my favorite, is what can you do to embody your bliss right now? What can you do to embody your pleasure right now? Because the future is now. So, if our future is now and we are able to quiet and escape our minds to be able to find bliss in your day despite whatever is going on, whatever challenges and obstacles that you have, you are inviting more assistance and support into your life, and the field is responding to that energy. So, do whatever you can do in order to feel bliss and pleasure. Yes, this is a very important time in your life. And it can be anxious because you feel the stirring energy of action. So, the last thing I'll say is to make sure that you are balancing any action you take with rest and rejuvenation, and try to bring a peaceful mindset to it and a playful mindset. Add joy and optimism to any action that you take. Don't make it be, I have to do this or this is going to happen. That frantic energy isn't going to help you. And that's another beauty, is like, if you already want to embody your future now, be joyful in whatever you do. So if you don't feel like doing something, don't do it, because that's the future that you want, right? We get to have the things that our hearts desire. And so sometimes just hang on to the important actions that really speak to your heart and that really fulfill you and take care of you, and then throw out the rest. So that is the last thing that I'm going to say. Thank you for joining me on my own morning contemplation, and receiving that definitely helped me as well, because I'm feeling the energy moving and changing, and it's scary. And I feel like I have to be strong as well, and that I have to maintain my own energy. And I'm terrified, but I'm going to keep going, and I'm hopeful and full of faith. And I hope that you are as well. So the flame in me walks beside the flame in you, and I hope you rise in joyful fire.